Howdy. So what we got here is our first batch that's approaching being finished. Right now the water is about 180 degrees, give or take, or the syrup at this point, I guess. And we got a test cup and a hydrometer. We're going to drop this in slowly so I can see what our number is. And we're still not done yet. So right now it's bottoming out, fairly buoyant, but it still settles in the bottom, so we're getting there. I think we're going to move it to get it hotter onto the gas stove to finish it up. Move this into here. You gotta be real careful with the hydrometers. They're really thin glass and break easy. So we're gonna put this on the stove inside and bring it up to temperature quicker. It's been going for hours out here. We've been running the evaporator outside. This is last week's batch. So let's see if we can get it up to about 200. See how it does. Howdy. So obviously I'm not at the cabin anymore. We ran out of time the other day, so we took what we had processed down to like about 90% and put it in 2-gallon jugs and brought it back. It's a couple days later. I finally have time to get to it. So what I have, and this is an 8-quart pot. I was hoping to actually be able to put both gallons at the same time, and I can't. So what I'm going to do is bring this up to temperature and then slowly add some more as it boils in. I got the candy thermometer on there. It's 150 degrees now. Both burners are running, and I figured this pot would give me more heat. So I have my hydrometer, testing cup, pint containers, which are mostly so we can give them away the first batch. The next ones we'll do every quarts. My filter is back at the cabin, so improvised filter is I got the strainer here with a clean handkerchief. It doesn't get used very much for anything else, or anything at all. And then I figured I'll put it in the Pyrex as an intermediary between going to the cans. Oh yeah, and the funnel for the cans. So now I just gotta wait for the temperature to come up. I set about 150 degrees now. At around 200 to 210, it should start to boil. And I'm gonna actually add some of this in now. It'll heat better if I can get it all to temperature at the same time. So I'll check back in later. Okay, so I have about a little over 1.5 gallons in here. This 8-quart container doesn't really hold 8 quarts. But I'm going to show you how to use the hydrometer cup. Thermometer is on there. It's around 215 degrees. So you want to put the cup in, keep your hands out of the 215 degree fluid, and you want to get it to about an inch or two to the top. Okay. And then slowly lower the hydrometer where you can read the gauge with the, almost knocked the mag into my maple syrup. I want to slowly lower it in. So right now we're around 29, give or take, and we need to get to 31. So a little bit more boiling down. See, it actually floats back up a little bit. When I first started doing it at the cabin, I thought I was really close to being done. I would have called this done last year. And it wasn't even on the chart, which explains why what we come up with last year was a little bit a little bit wet, a little bit not thick enough. So we're gonna give it another 10 or 15 minutes and test it again, and I'll scoop that scum off the top. You don't really have to, but it makes a better maple syrup. So, be back in 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. Let's see what we got now. Same thing as before, dip it in. And slowly lower until it stops. And 29.5. Another 15 minutes or so. Went up about a half. Back in here. In between each time I wash this down with water. So, and then remove the scum that forms. So let me clean this up and I'll be back in 15 more minutes. Okay, so I went ahead and added the other half gallon, let it all boil in. So it's been, I don't know, half an hour to an hour, give or take, for it to get back up to the right place. So we're going to do a test, see what we got for a number on the scale. Okay. Just about dead on. Right there's a red line right there I need to get to. And we're right on it. So it's just below the water. I think it's that dead on. So, like I said, compared to last year when we just kind of did it by guess, I would have said this was done, a long time ago. So we'll see how this compares to last year's when we're all done. Now I'm going to scoop this out into the other container and see how that rag does at a filter. I wish I had my other filter here. Okay. So I'm not sure how this is actually going to filter through this or not. We'll see. It will probably make a massive mess. So I'm just going to scoop it in and see if it comes through this. Yeah, it's run through. Not as fast as with the other filter, but I can make do with that. Let's see if it continues to run just as fast as it. As long as you keep it above 180, it can go right into the cans, right into the jars and be good to can. So I'm going to keep the stove running for about half this emptying and then I'll turn it off because I don't want to overheat it. Looks like maple syrup running fairly slow through this filter. The other filter I have is made out of felt, which I think is probably a better material than cotton. I want to turn that stove off. I don't want it to overheat. Turn it into caramel. Okay. Yeah, that filter is running pretty slow right about now. I wonder if I can just do this. gonna run slow anyways. Move this off to the side. Right there. And scoop it in. And the reason you filter it is for the so you don't get the maple sand, which is the minerals from the tree. If this goes too slow, I'll just leave the minerals in. We did last year, and you just end up with a little bit of sand in the little bit of sand in the bottom of the pot. So, okay, so I'm going to do this for a while, and I'll be back. Okay, so I got 12 pints done so far, and start filling up the quarts. Let's see, I shouldn't need too many of these. I decided against filtering, it just too slow with the cotton. So I got 3 of them that were filtered. We'll see, I think that's a good comparison between them. Because we filtered along the way, it'll be interesting to see if this last filter was necessary or not. I might just end up pouring this in pretty soon. If I have a little bit left over, I'll just pour it into my container in the fridge, which I think I will. I'll let it cool off a bit before I do it, because this is really hot. Really hot. Fingers kind of get used to it for a second, and then one more try. All you do is fill it up to the line in the neck, just like if you were doing any other type of canning. Clean the rim, and clean the rest of the jar later. Really, the rim's important so you get a good seal. As long as the fluid's over 180 degrees, you'll have a good seal, and it doesn't go, it's preserved. Below 180 degrees, you can still put it in a jar, but you gotta put it in the fridge because you can't guarantee that it's 100%. So, there we go. Just like any other canning, cover up the jars so that they cool down slowly throughout the night. And tomorrow you can put them in storage. They'll actually be warm in the morning. I'm going to cover them up in one more towel. And that takes a good 24 hours to cool down usually. So, that's it. Took me like an hour and a half tonight. And like I said, I probably still have about a pint in here. So I'm going to dump this in the fridge. I don't have any more pint jars that are cleaned and ready to go. So here we go. We got 12 pints and 1 quart. And we had started tonight with 2 gallons. So we're going down this weekend, and I am going to, we have probably another gallon of syrup down at the cabin, and then we have whatever the trees give us this week, and it's going to get warm over the weekend, so this is probably the end of maple syrup season for the year. supposed to be high 50s on Monday, so unless Tuesday cools down quite a bit, I expect the season to be done. Yeah, it was a different season. The weather was not the most conducive to good maple syrup. We had too many days where it was too cold. So, normally we would want to have a nice, good, cold, warm cycle. We only had probably 5 days, 6. This week we should get about 4 days more maybe. So maybe 10 days total. Not very good. But on the plus side, our evaporator did seem to use a lot less wood than last year. Last year we did it all in the wood stoves, and we burned through quite a bit of wood. This year, not a quarter of the wood we did last year. Yeah, we should get back to regular cabin videos soon. Probably starting with working in the forest again, dropping some trees, putting more firewood up. We usually do that in the spring before the trees leaf out, and then we work on other projects. So we'll do that first. If you have any comments, I'd love to hear them. This is our second year doing maple syrup, so we're still kind of novices. It'd be great to hear what the people are doing, what their experiences are, similar type setups or different setups. It'd be kind of cool. I've seen some rocket stoves that look pretty cool. It might be an interesting way to do it. We'll see. If you can, hop onto the Facebook link. It'll be down below in the description. There's always a Facebook link. I tend to put some things on there that don't end up anywhere else because I'm too lazy. It's easy to put them in there. Mostly pictures. Sometimes I'll see a deal for something, I'll toss it in there. And if you like this type of stuff, click the like button. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. It'd be great. Right now I'm over 2,100 subscribers. Woohoo! It's a big. Every time I get a new milestone, it seems huge to me. So I think that's it for now. Until next time. Thanks for watching.